The way we consume and share news today, it is largely rooted in social media outlets. A reason why it's crucial to look at what's being discussed online. From the hottest issues to trends for our daily social media minute, we're joined by Erica in the studio. Do you want to take your padded jacket off?
I wanted to.
It's cold outside.
Lost the moment.
I know, right? The mic went on way too early. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's pretty cold outside.
Oh yeah, it's lovely. You're refreshing.
I mean, you're really well prepared for it, though.
Yeah, I'm wearing a thick coat today.
All right, let's jump into some of these buzzwords trending as we speak. Now, I mean, leading up to this very moment, I mean, there were so many images floating in cyberspace just in general, but mainly social media outlets. The beautiful actor slash singer Suzy in hanbok.
Yes.
Now, where this campaign will be showcased is probably the heart of the story, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the most iconic places
in the world.
Yeah, in the world.
Yeah.
And even within New York City.
Yeah.
So Suzy is ready to showcase the beauty of hanbok. Hanbok with a contemporary twist on one of the most iconic areas of New York City. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, together with the Korea Craft and Design Foundation, or KCDF, will present a special hanbok video campaign featuring the actress. Now, this video is going to light up the digital billboards of Times Square in New York City on New Year's Eve and on Christmas Day, December 24th and the 25th.
We've seen other campaigns before.
Yeah, plenty.
And Times Square for electronic gadgets, for example. And it's a frequent spot for high publicity.
That's
but
right.
I think when it's placed, it's kind of like the Super Bowl ad, right? There's a reason why that ad is more expensive. It's Christmas Eve when shopping is out of control.
That's right. So many people on the streets.
And then New Year's Eve.
Yep, exactly. So this effort, it's part of the 2023 project to create and develop Hallyu-related content. The video campaign aims to highlight the beauty of hanbok to audiences, not just in other parts of the world, but also here in Korea as well.
Of course.
Yep.
Now, for this project, the Culture Ministry has partnered with several small and medium-sized companies specialized in hanbok design. I think that's really special.
Yes, that's right. So this year's project includes collaborations with Songhwa Baijong, Ode, Yuhyunhwa Hanbok, Chai Kim, Hapli, and Hanbokmun. And all of these 6 companies were selected through a public competition. Now, the designers have skillfully incorporated traditional hanbok features into modern designs. They drew a lot of inspiration, they say, from Suji's unique style and charisma as well. Isn't it beautiful?
I think it's so breathtaking.
Yeah.
No words. I think you just need to look. We streamed the images, but
my favorite is the green skirt.
Yeah,
so pretty.
But that's also your favorite color. So
yours too.
Naturally, your eyes goes towards it. No, but that's just a really nice green.
Very, very beautiful.
There are many shades of green out there.
Yeah.
And normally, I'm not a big fan of pink anything.
But I would wear that.
I would wear that too. Not in this weather, but I mean, Suzy is frolicking through what is, I assume to be more summery conditions. My God. And I think it's so extraordinary that they decide to sort of, put this sort of up for competition amongst some new, some well-established, but small and medium-sized companies, because there are renowned hanbok designers out there whose names you would instantly recognize, but giving maybe a stomping ground for a more of the rising new hanbok designers. Now, the campaign centerpiece is
the video.
Of course, right, which will be showcased on the world-renowned advertising space in Times Square's digital billboards. I don't know how much it costs, but it probably costs a fortune.
A lot. So the video is going to be running from 6 a.m. early in the morning on Christmas Eve to 2 a.m. on December 25th, Christmas Day. Again, Lena mentioned it. It's one of the busiest times of the year at the venue. Hopefully, the passers-by will be dazzled by the stunning portrayal of the elegance of hanbok that we've just seen through the streaming videos. And after its premiere in Times Square, New York, the video is going to be released, of course, on YouTube on December 26th.
So the photo spread was just a prelude to all of this.
That's right.
Think big, think big. All right, for Suzy fans, it sounds like an exciting time. Let's move on to our second buzzword of the day. there's apparently a cannabis cultivation game on an app market.
Yeah.
You can only imagine why that would raise concern in a country that strictly regulates the use of, cannabis.
That's right. So the South Korean government, as we've all seen on the news and talked about, last month declared a war on drugs. And amid the crackdown, mobile games that involve growing and selling cannabis were exposed. These games have been accessible to youth for a number of years, and the issue is raising serious concerns.
How did it go unnoticed is kind of a big question.
I know that's a big question. Now, the Game Rating and Administration Committee, which is responsible for monitoring app markets, has been widely criticized for its years-long failure to address the circulation of these types of games.
Okay, so there's clearly a loophole in the monitoring system. I think the biggest concern is its exposure to minors. Are there many games themed around cannabis that are available in app stores here in South Korea?
I had no idea. Because I don't play a lot of mobile games, but still, I am well aware of the games that are popular amongst the younger people because I'm surrounded by teens all day long, right?
I'll ask you eventually. I don't, because I was playing one of these like puzzle games on my phone just to, de-stress.
Right.
And my very young cousins looked at me like nobody plays that anymore. Right. So I don't even know what's in the know, but
there are several games themed around cannabis that are available on app stores here in South Korea. So one game, let's call it A, involves operating a factory to grow, to process, and to sell cannabis. And it's one of those typical idle games that doesn't require like super active playing.
I've seen like many like kitchen versions, right? I mean, there's cooking games, like you can raise a pet. The idea is to cultivate something, right?
Like that. Exactly.
Right. Is that still relevant?
I don't know.
But so I mean, this kind of game is not new, but what you cultivate is probably
in this case, you're cultivating cannabis, right? And these games feature real cannabis strains, which many people say sparks curiosity among the young players. And this particular game, A, was released back in 2017. Now, there's another game, let's call that B, simulates growing cannabis at home in pots and selling it to customers to earn money. And the game includes elements like watering tanks and lamps that really closely resemble actual indoor cannabis cultivation setups that we often see on the news when the police crack down. And this particular game was released all the way back in 2015.
Again, I think it's a number of years that it went unnoticed, sort of like flying under the radar, right?
That's right. And a lot of users express concern saying, I'm worried I might get arrested for playing this game, or what if my phone is inspected and I'm mistaken for a drug offender?
I wonder, can they find a causal relationship? Because there's no proof that just because you play this game, it would lead to, or you have somehow been struck by curiosity to actually, smoke the real thing.
Exactly. Anyways, the concern is that these games include illustrations and cartoons that basically glorify smoking cannabis.
In a country that has promised stricter crackdown on any drug use, any illicit drug use, it's kind of surprising that this would somehow exist. So I'm sure that they're trying to fill the loopholes, right? I wonder what kind of penalty these gaming companies could face.
Most mobile games, I wanted to mention this, on domestic app markets, they typically receive their ratings through self-assessment by designated rating agencies like Google Play and Apple App Store. The gaming rating and the Game Rating and Administration Committee is responsible for readjusting ratings of games that are deemed not suitable for youth, or they can refuse classification upon self-assessment. But the committee is under a lot of heat right now because it has not taken significant action for months or even years against these cannabis cultivation games, although it operates a monitoring team and a self-rating support team as well.
Okay, so clearly someone is falling short, but a lot of times, can you find these platforms accountable for this? That the short answer is no, without a lengthy legal process, right? So unfortunately, it seems that the watchdogs need to do a more thorough job. Leave it there for now. On to our final buzzword of the day. Lee Myung-Hee's Seoul mansion tops standard single-family home value for a 9th consecutive year.
Yeah, so chairwoman of Shinsegae Group, Lee Myung-Hee, has once again secured the number one spot in the standard single-family home official assessed value with her Hannam-dong residence in Yongsan-gu, Seoul for the 9th straight year. And another piece of land, it's a famous plot of land.
In Myeongdong?
Yes, in Myeongdong, where the Nature Republic store is located, has maintained its title as the most expensive land in South Korea for 21 years. According to the National Standard Housing and Land Values announced by the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport, the official assessed value of Chairwoman Lee's residence for next year is 28.6 billion won, which is a close to 2% increase from this year's value of 28 billion won.
When does money start to feel like out of reach? Not just out of reach, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
What I mean is it starts to feel like monopoly money.
Yeah. Just a tad.
Just a tad bit. But I mean, we make these lists each year, so how about rounding things out? The residence has held the top spot in official assessed value among standard single-family homes since it was categorized as such in 2016.
That's right. Now, the second place goes to Lee Hae-wook, chairman of DL, or formerly Dating Group, whose residence in Samseong-dong in Gangnam-gu, Seoul, is valued at 18.65 billion won for next year, which is a 2.5% increase from this year. And coming in at third place is Seungji-won, which is Samsung Group's state guest house owned by the Hoam Foundation. This one is also located in Yongsan-gu, Seoul, in Itaewon-dong. Its value for next year is close to 2 billion won, which is up 2.2% from this year. Housing is expensive in Korea. And these names that we just mentioned, they're not just anybody, right?
They are all somebodies.
Yeah.
With legacies.
Some of the wealthiest people in Korea.
Yeah. Not to say all Jebers are alike, but I mean, some of them invest real big in plots of land that turn out to be even more pricey, and they build really nice residences on it.
You know, talking about the most expensive land in the country for 21 years.
Myeongdong?
Yes, in Myeongdong, the Nature Republic site was valued at 175.4 million won per square meter. Per square meter, everybody. So we've had 2 consecutive years of decline due to the impact of COVID-19. We saw, Myeongdong was basically empty during those 2 years. A very bustling commercial district. You know, everything is back to normal now. I happened to be passing by the Myeongdong area just yesterday. It's packed with people.
And the decorations for Christmas is on steroids this year. It's very welcoming.
Yes, that's right. Now, the second highest land value in the country is the Uri Bank site in Myeongdong again, which is valued at 174 million won per square meter. This is for next year.
You know, before this segment, I always assumed that it wouldn't be the most expensive plot of land, wouldn't be in Myeongdong. It would be somewhere in Hannam-dong, in Yongsan-gu, for example, or Cheongdam-dong.
Yes, somewhere in Gangnam-gu.
The epitome of Gangnam style, right? But no, it's this commercial district in Myeongdong that usually, actually now post-pandemic, attracts a lot of people.
Right. That's why so many stores had to they were vacant during COVID-19 because people just simply could not afford to pay the rent.
That's right. But the big brands survived. That's the irony, right?
The big brands survived, right?
All right. We'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much, Erica.
Pleasure as always.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.